Saturday, the 20th of September, 2025, and I was going to share a video about MK Ultra, my interview that I did with, or podcast, whatever you want to call it, with Andreas Zerdas. It's been 3 years. I was going to share that one, but because of what I've been talking about the last few days, I will share a video that I was talking about earlier today about Destiny and about another podcaster who responded to so many of the different I would say statements, things that Destiny has said over the years, and it's 35 minutes, and so I think this is like a priority now just because of the time.
Video production, I raised a few points of strong criticism against this. As you know, a couple of days ago, I made a video dedicated to the YouTuber and left-wing political commentator Destiny. On said video production, I raised a few points of strong criticism against his behavior when it comes to both recent events and I want to say the last couple of 100 years. Well, won't you know it, he responded. So how about we check out that commentary? Let's see this sharp rhetoric of yours, omniliberal. All right, where does he put himself? Left? Unironically.
Oh my goodness.
I'll put myself here.
Yeah.
Don't want to be disrespectful and cover him up, do we? What's up with this? He talked about the vice president before talking about me?
See, I can't move my screen like that. Like I'm trying to click on mine,
video.
But I can't put it to the right.
Hello, noble ones. Welcome back to my channel.
We need to talk about Destiny.
No, this is the Metatron speaking. You know how a few days ago I made a video dedicated to talking about Hassan Piker? Well, today we've got another one, as you know, and this video is dedicated to Destiny. Now, whatever you may think about Destiny's ability to speak, debate, positions, rhetoric, political analysis is all completely irrelevant. Okay. Because as it was the case with Hassan Piker, he too has crossed multiple lines. I used to watch his debates sometimes. I watched him debate Andrew Wilson. I watched him debate Ben Shapiro. And in general, I enjoyed listening to positions from both sides in order for me to maintain an open mind and seeing how people counter arguments that otherwise you would only hear within echo chambers. However, I completely stopped watching him after he made fun of the firefighter who lost his life during President Trump's assassination attempt. At that point, I thought that Stephen O'Neill had reached his new low, his lowest point, but boy, was I wrong. It seems like that similarly to Piker Boy, Destiny has also been calling for political violence for a while and appears to have had no repercussions when it comes to possible deplatforming or even legal procedures when it...
No possible repercussions. You know I'm permabanned from Twitch, right? Do people not do any research at all? Wait, what is this?
I'm not laughing at that, but he's been banned on Twitch since 2022. It's been over 3 years.
This clip.
I mostly meant
a long time
repercussions, but sure. Twitch does count. You're correct.
Thank you, truth sayer. Wait, how many years? Is this like 8 years old? How long ago did I live? This is when I lived in Glendale.
Oh, so...
And by the way, Destiny has watched the entire video before he's responding to it. So when he's like, oh, look at this video. Is this from like 8 years ago? Where's this from? He already knows where it's from and when it's from. He's such a fake person.
That's what he's going to use. The clip is old. But that only works, Destiny, if your rhetoric has changed. So let's see.
This is from 2019? Okay, based.
Comes to that. So far.
Are we playing PUBG? Oh shit, I'm probably going to some wild shit. What are we going to say?
Watch.
I'm ready for the great cleansing, dude.
Cleansing?
Cleansing.
Come on.
What cleansing?
When we genocide conservatives in this country.
Are you going to be on the streets with your Glock?
Maybe. I gotta go back to Nebraska and grab it.
You genuinely do hate conservatives, don't you?
Okay, first of all, conversation I'm having, we're running around playing a video game. This is my serious political commentary. Okay, base.
No. Okay. Right, let me respond to that. This is the weakest defense he could have brought up. Oh, that's the defense. Okay, fantastic. All right, let me come back. Let me counter that. Yes. You see, Destiny, I did say quite a few things about you, and clearly I don't like you, but if there is one thing that I'm willing to say is that I do not believe you're stupid. Therefore, anyone intelligent, when it comes to incitement to violence, they are not going to do it during their serious political debates, such as, for example, when guests into a massive podcast, unless they are completely out of their mind. No, they're going to do it when they are relaxed and the truth comes out. You see, when Destiny speaks during his debates, he's using his strategy. I mean, that's what he does, right, for a living. Therefore, any debater has an idea of what points he wants to use, what kind of counter-arguments he's got prepared. So clearly, I doubt that I can't wait to genocide conservatives on the street is going to be something he will say during a public debate, although then again, never say never. No, you said it when your guard was down. Perhaps when you thought that this clip wouldn't have been made public. What I think you did in this situation, Destiny, is accidentally tell the truth. But please continue.
This was later. Oh, this was even earlier. Oh, that's Devin. How old is this one? 2018? I wonder what the context is.
You genuinely do hate conservatives, don't you?
Very much so. I've moved full on to like the political violence level, or the real violence level, when it comes to conservative people. Yeah, I think they need to be like excised from my fucking country. I think they're demonstrably fucking evil people by any moral system that most people use.
Yeah, you instead are a saint.
And then I just hate them because they tend to yeah. I think they're demonstrably fucking evil people by any moral system that most people use.
See, he just said true. So you just completely annihilated any weight of the defense mechanism that you tried to place. It's an old clip. Right, but if you agree with it on camera, it means that your opinions haven't changed. I mean, that would have been the only defense that you could have used in this situation, by telling us that this was a clip from 2018. It's from 2018, but at the time it was different. I was a different man. I thought different things, but I don't think this anymore. Now he just said true. You just proved my point. Then the clips are relevant regardless, or whether they be from 2018 or from 1518 at this point. Next defense.
Yeah. Again, I said this is going to be a point I'm going to hit hard for the next 6 months. This concept of politics is when I talk, and that's all it is. And as long as I'm only talking and only doing politics, I can't possibly hurt anybody or harm anybody, is the it is the most privileged position. It is a luxury position to take. It's just politics.
Not my point. Strawman. The point you just made is a construct of your mind. I never said that. I never said politics. I mean, anyone who understands history knows that politics are not just talking. However, if you are indecent and talk about calls to actions and violence, not actionable.
Politics is just talking. Nobody's really getting hurt, LOL. There are too many examples, especially now under Trump 2, where this is just not the case.
I agree. Charlie just got shot.
If you want to do politics, then you have to grow up and be a big boy and realize that when you advocate for unhinged, crazy, insane shit, that there are going to be people that take unhinged, crazy positions in response to it. That's how the world has always worked through all of human history.
I would like you to remember this. So what was his general point here? He's justifying now. This is the next layer of justification. Interesting from a psychological point of view, by the way. He's admitting that his takes are batshit crazy.
Unhinged, crazy positions in response to it.
But it's only because the other side has crazy batshit statements. So I can say the stuff I say, and it's fine, even though he did admit that it's crazy stuff, simply because the other side is doing it as well. Right? This is the reaction motivation. I'm reacting to the other side, therefore whatever I do is justified. Also, here's another problem with that. It's a false equivalence. So let's say for a second, the right wing did something bad. I'm going to do the same thing to them. You can take their position as long as it's not illegal, but then you lose the moral ground. Because you do have another option. The right wing does something bad, you don't, and call them out. Now you have the moral ground. Now you may think that that is a weak position to have, but it's not. And I'll elaborate. But to give you a hint, it has to do with influence and supported recruitment. I'll get back to that later. I won't forget. But let's see, maybe we'll structure a better defense.
That winds up at any of these rallies. This is more recent, thank God. Okay, but for the firefighter thing, true. Gets shot or whatever the fuck. True. Okay, because they had no problem making fun of Paul Pelosi. The entire world would be better off if these people were permanently removed from these platforms.
True.
Like there is no downside and only upside to see people like Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, Tim Pool never be allowed to publicly broadcast their opinions ever again. It's exclusively bad stuff that happens.
True. The validity of your statements is not directly proportional to the volume at which you speak.
Conservatives have been
I think you have been disgusting for years. The logical idiocy of trying to tell us that laughing and making fun of Pelosi's husband's situation is horrific and ending up doing the same thing. Hypocrite. Of course.
And then this, I don't know. This is also another thing I'm going to keep harping on. Responding to an event by doing the same thing that the other person does is not actually the same thing, right? If I tell you, wow, that guy just punched that other guy, and you go, holy shit, that's bad. But then I go, well, the other guy punched him first. Well, that changes things meaningfully, right? If the left, which I believe they firmly are, I know that I'm at this position, and I know most of the other people on the left are, if the left says, hey, we should all stop doing political violence. Wouldn't that be great? If the right would do it, That's different than saying, oh, well, if the right's not going to disavow any of this, then I'm not going to. Do you see the difference, right? The right is not willing to bring it down no matter what.
He brought up 2 points, so I'm going to have to address them separately because he mixed them together. I imagine that also the speed at which he speaks is one of the ways in which he tries to overwhelm his opponents. But the problem is this is a response video, so just like he can pause me, I can pause him. I'll let him finish and then we'll have to rewind and address them separately because they are two disconnected points.
The right doesn't follow the lead of the left and say, okay, you're right. We should all tone it down a little bit. Anytime the left capitulates, the right just capitalizes on it. That is a cancerous it's a cancerous relationship where one side is constantly taking advantage of and abusing the other and members of their own side, as you see Charlie Kirk's corpse being drug around by his...
Okay, he's going on a completely different point once again, so we do need to kind of go back before he continues. We'll get back to the corpse, I suppose, in a second. And the only thing he said that I agree with is that the right and the left have a cancerous relationship. I do agree with that. He's right. Now, let me show you what I mean.
That's how the world has always worked through all of human history. And it will continue to be how...
Oh, you're bringing up history. Careful with that one.
Better off if these people were permanently removed from these platforms. This is more recent, thank God. Okay, but for the firefighter thing.
He's still hammering this idea that, oh, this one is more recent. It better represents my positions. You just agreed with your previous positions from 2018. Therefore, this line of counter-argument is void.
Responding to an event by doing the same thing that the other person does is not actually the same thing. Right? If I tell you, wow, that guy just punched that other guy, and you go, holy shit, that's bad. But then I go, well, the other guy punched him first. Well, that changes things meaningfully, right?
First and foremost, this analogy only works if you can prove that the other side is the one that actually started it. Well, good luck with that. Started what? Started when? Are we going to go back to the 90s? Do we need to go back to the 50s? When does a party start to do incitement for violence? Because do remember, he is using an analogy, so we need to make sure that all elements of this analogy fit. He's saying a guy is punching, and you say, why did you punch him in the face? Because he punched me. Okay, what is the punch a representation of in this case? What is it that I'm saying he shouldn't have done? Direct threats and incitement to violence. If someone like Charlie Kirk, in this case, since these are the people we're talking about, had also said the likes of, I can't wait to get all the Democrats genocided and get my Glock on the streets, or I can't wait to go out and actually go for real violence, and then Destiny said the same thing, the analogy would fit. Problem is that Charlie Kirk didn't know such thing. And even though I know that you guys are going to say that his words were violent or violence because of whatever twisting interpretation you want to use, even the meanest thing that Charlie Kirk said is not comparable to him calling for the genocide of the entire political side. Am I right? The analogy breaks down. But when Charlie dies, you could say, hey, the guy didn't deserve to die. He didn't do that. Next.
Right? If the left, which I believe they firmly are, I know that I'm at this position, and I know most of the other people on the left are, if the left says, hey, we should all stop doing political violence, wouldn't that be great? If the right would do it, that's different than saying, oh, well, if the right's not going to disavow any of this, then I'm not going to. Do you see the difference, right? The right is not willing to bring it down no matter what. The right doesn't follow the lead of the left and say, okay, you're right. We should all tone it down a little bit.
The lead of the left, the guy just got shot in the neck, but the left is leading for peace. You got to be delusional at this point. Right before this, Christian children got murdered at the church. A church. The leader of the left.
The other and members of their own side, as you see Charlie Kirk's corpse being drug around by his widow wife and the rest of the people who are even loosely affiliated with him or the administration in order to push their political agenda. I wish these people, to be fair, maybe this guy does have a lot of criticism for that other side, but it's always funny to me that somebody can listen to Trump or the Republicans say disgusting thing after abhorrent thing, after insane thing, after violent thing, after pulling funding from, bombing, whatever. And then they hear me say some shit like, fuck these people. These people don't belong in my fucking country. These people aren't Americans. I'm like, wow, that was the line for me. I can't believe that he would say that. Back to civility politics with the right. It's a fucking joke.
No. You can say that. You said genocide. You said weapons. You said violence. You didn't say these people suck. If you said that, I wouldn't have even made a video. It is the incitement to violence and the direct threats of violence.
Exactly.
You could say anything else you want. It is your right. Incitement of violence isn't making fun of what happened. No, my point to Pelosi is wrong, was wrong. See, should be condemned. But you did the same thing. I just did it. I literally just did it. You say that no one does it. Well, I did it. I just said, yes, what happened to Pelosi is horrible. And if people made fun of it, they were wrong. Is he going to admit that? Because he literally said, maybe this guy, you just have proof. I did it on my video about you. So you're no better than the people you say you hate.
Okay.
You should hate yourself.
He's worse.
He's a centrist who's actually a massive conservative, basically Adam from Adam and Stitch. Oh, is he? Oh, God. That would explain this then, yeah.
There are plenty of people in this world. I'm a massive conservative. No, I'm a centrist who's right-leaning. I've said this multiple times, and I said it publicly. Who have never made fun or laughed at someone else's misfortunes. You're not one of them. So what happens? This is, of course, just the tip of the iceberg. Let's have a look at what well, I wish I did respond to that, because I did make a statement now. I said there are plenty of people, me included, on this planet who have never made fun of someone else's fortune. I've never done that in my life. There are plenty of people that don't do that, and you are not one of them, because you laughed at the firefighter. The other thing that I've been extremely critical of is the thousands, tens of thousands of people that have been celebrating Charlie Kirk's death. If that hadn't happened, we wouldn't be having this conversation. I would have made a few videos on Charlie Kirk, lamented his death, and that would have been the end. But you guys, you literally are saying that we need to look at the unbelievable lie. We need to follow the lead of the left, which is leading us to peace and civility, while tens of thousands of people are laughing, celebrating Charlie Kirk's death, and in fact asking for his family, including the children, to be next. What, did I dream that? And this is not the first time. The Christian children died, same thing on a smaller scale, but still the same thing. People were laughing about it. People died in the Texas weather catastrophe. Liberals are laughing about it. Enough. You can't hide it. Gaslight only works if you could convince us, but with proof. And a post he has produced after the assassination of Charlie Kirk, shall we? For instance, there is this clip during a Piers Morgan Uncensored.
And I'm going to keep pushing against this. Yeah, dude, all the people whose only exposure to you being edgelord retard are totally going to get your point. A lot more people are in the position than people who will get your point. You're retarded. The only reason why they see anything at all is because that's what conservatives show them. And Hutch has this.
I just said at the beginning of the video that I watch both sides. In fact, I used to watch you. So either you call me a liar and tell me it's not true. Great. And then we'll have to what? Agree to disagree at that point? Or you don't lump me in with people who only watch one side. I specifically said that I do that to avoid echo chambers. So I watch you, Ben Shapiro. I used to watch Vosh, then I stopped. You should know for what reason. I watch the Young Turks. I used to watch Charlie Kirk. Well, I'm going to keep watching him, to be honest. I don't watch Hassan, not even paid. I watched H-Bomber Guy, I watched Matt Walsh, and I can continue giving you names. And I said that I do that specifically to avoid echo chambers and listen to counter-arguments. So you can't use that one on me. These people.
And liberals playing into this delusional fantasy that this cucklord wants us to play into, where, oh, well, if liberals just keep disavowing, eventually they'll come down. Stupid.
That's not what I said. I didn't say that. Like, I don't know, is that what he does? He literally just fabricates a point and pretends that I said it. I'm just condemning the people that are doing direct calls for violence. Statement was made. Stop calling everyone you disagree with Nazis. There is a real world out there, and your words can make people pick up guns. I agree. Based 100%. What does Mr. Bonnell say in response to that? You know what actually legitimizes widespread violence? ? The President of the United States constantly reminding people that the 2020 elections was fraudulent. Close quotes. The words spoken, the claims made by the President of the United States do not legitimize any form of widespread violence. And yes,
this guy's
exactly.
Just retarded. Why am I linked to this guy?
If you think that my point is so weak, why do you have to insult me rather than attacking the point directly?
Well,
this type of mentality that causes outcomes such as what happened to Charlie Kirk. And mind you, this post... Yeah.
Hold on. What? Me tweeting out, calling out the rhetoric that literally led to the entire J6 insurrection is actually the rhetoric that radicalizes people?
And while January 6th was wrong, it was wrong of those people to do the insurrection. Nobody died. Charlie Kirk did. So I'm more interested in discussing Charlie Kirk's throat exploding at this point. Also because that was the topic of this discussion. And this is my critique, which he still hasn't addressed. At one point during this, he actually says he doesn't know what country I'm from. I'm from Sicily. And back home, we do have an expression, a proverb, that I think it's perfectly fitting So I'm just going to say it now in Sicilian and then I'll translate. The proverb goes, "O vero surdo è cum vuole sientere." That means the true deaf is the person who doesn't want to hear. He does not want to hear what I actually have to say. Can we ditch the YouTube handles for a moment? Steven. Can I call you Steven? My name is Raffaello. Raffaello, if you can pronounce it. We can go back and forth insulting each other. You call me imbecile, I'll call you an idiot. What are we going to achieve with that? Entertaining, will make AdSense money. Great. But in this case, I think it's quite obvious that you're trying to dodge my point.
What? Like, you don't have a real opinion. You're not a real human being.
He just proved my point. I'm not a human being because of my opinion. My critique was, you guys dehumanize people by calling him fascist and Nazi. In fact, a fascist is still a human being. With me, he went even worse than that. There is nothing more dehumanizing than calling someone not a human because of the opinion. You're literally doing what caused Charlie Kirk's death, dehumanizing the other side. You proved my point. You proved my point.
Debate videos. Politics is just for debunking. LOL. Who cares at the end of the day? Meanwhile, the president invokes the Alien Enemies Act for deportation policy, invokes national emergencies to tariff literally the entire fucking world. But it's just words, LOL.
So what's the other option? You once again misrepresented my opinion, but whatever. What's the other option then? If words, debunking, debates, discussion, discourse, striking, all of the things that I mentioned, if that's not enough, what's next? What else is there? Destiny.
I hate Charlie Kirk. I think he's actually a Satan spawn. He's very, very strategically minded. I hate Charlie Kirk. I think he's actually a Satan spawn. He's very, very strategically minded. I hate Charlie Kirk. I think he's actually...
Now we're playing 4-second clips? Okay. I'm sorry. I like to apologize. You're not allowed to hate somebody after they died. I hope that when I die, I hope everybody says, I didn't hate Destiny. He was a beautiful... I didn't hate him. Now that he's dead, I'm not going to hate him. Get the fuck out of here.
You said this in August. He was still alive. That's the point. You called him a Satan spawn. Once again, the concept of dehumanizing is brought back again. Satan spawn. This is August 2025, not after you died. That's a misrepresentation. No, after he died, that if you didn't like him before, I'm not going to expect you to like him. What I do expect people to do is to not celebrate and say, let's take out his entire family.
Did books as well. But...
This is what I really want. You convinced me now that yeah, this is exactly the absolutely 12th of September. 12th of September. And what he has to say about it, make a joke and change it into was.
Absolutely fucking based.
That's why these people, you see, he's not like, he's literally, so all the accusations I present, he either indirectly proves me right or he just owns it. And fine, at least he's honest when it comes to this. I'll take that. I'll give him that. But then my critique was correct. People are the enemy of the left before being the enemy of the right. They are the reason so many centrists are turning right-wing. And they are the reason why so many moderate...
Remember, this is a failure of messaging if that's the case, right? If it's the case that one side can advocate for violence, can talk about the existential threat of all the radical leftists over and over and over, if the conservatives can do this for 10 years, and someone on the left going, you guys are fucking crazy, you're fascists, and we're not going to disavow violence anymore until you do. If that's what it takes, people are like, oh, fuck, well, I'm going to go join the right. These were never real people anymore.
Well, apart from the fact that I do think you overuse the term fascist, yes. But that's not the only thing you guys do. You guys say Nazi. I know because I'm on the receiving end. You call people fascist, Nazi, white supremacist, racist, misogynist, transphobe, homophobe, and all the rest. And I know that because every time I make a video that you guys don't like, that's what I get. When I make a video that the right wing doesn't like, they call me woke. Not particularly imaginative, I'll give you that when it comes to the right, at least towards to me. And yes, that turns people away. It's a fact. Obviously, it's a fact. What Hassan Piker, the stuff he said, the extremists will stay. Of course they will. But the moderate leftist, the left-leaning centrists, who do you think makes the swing states swing? Do you really think that with your sharp rhetoric, Destiny, you're going to convince a diehard MAGA in freaking Texas to vote Democrat? Or do you think that with good rhetoric and good messages and good evidence, the people you're going to convince to vote for your side are those that are only leaning, they're kind of indecised, independents, centrists, moderates? They are the ones that you can convince, but you are scaring them away. And it happened. You lost an election.
Anyway, these aren't serious people anyway. They've already been captured by right-wing messaging, if that's the case. It's the same type of person who's like, I don't trust the CDC anymore because I think they made a mistake. So now I listen to Alex Jones for my healthcare information. That's not a real position. That's not a position that a real human being can maintain through any sort of like intellectual interrogation, okay?
Once again, a real human being should have X opinion. If a person does not have X opinion, he's not a real human being. That dehumanizing continues. It is so entrenched into his logical system that he just keeps bringing it up as a major element of discussion and refutation of the opponent's argument. You have this opinion. You're not a real human being. Yes, there are plenty of people, even in the moderate left, that listen to that and think, you know what, I don't want to have anything to do with this, particularly after the killings, or all the tens of thousands of people who are celebrating the death of a human being, a father, a husband, and then they call for the death of his children and wife. Yes, moderate left-wingers and centrists are gonna change because of that. Absolutely. Do you really think that people... Have you guys watched the new arc when it comes to Shoe on Head? How she's literally completely moved center now. You could tell 100%. She cannot believe and that is specifically for that. Go check it out. Don't believe me. I'll probably make a video about it because it's hilarious. And I like it. I like it a lot, by the way. I already liked it before when she was at left wing, but she would criticize both sides, and I appreciated that. While the far left was calling her alt-right, that was funny, provided entertainment for me. But recently she has exploded. Why? Because she sees the thousands of people that laugh and giggle and call for violence, and she's not okay with it. And so she's leaving the left. A lot of people are doing that. I see them in my comments. They tell me that. And do you really think that the reason why these people are moving is because, Ben Shapiro convinced them? Because he said something and they're like, you know what, the right wing is right. This connects to what I was telling you before that I was going to address. Claiming the moral ground is, in fact, a very strong message for recruitment and maintaining of core support. If the right wing does something horrible, and you don't do the same thing and say, look at them, they're horrible, they're doing this thing, it's wrong. And when the occasion happens, you don't do it. So for instance, someone dies on your side, and let's say that the right wing, they're all laughing about it. But then when someone dies on their side, you're like, no, this is wrong, that he was a human being. He shouldn't have gone like that. That's a strong moral position, and it is powerful, because then people are going to be like, you know what, I think you're right. I think you're right. I want to be on your side. Well, this is not happening because there are tens of thousands of people laughing. I've never seen so many people laugh. And don't even bring Pelosi again, because I did not see tens of thousands of people laughing at Pelosi. I've seen a few people doing it, and they were wrong. But this is it's a fact. It is out of control right now. Is he being at least basically decent? I'm not asking for him to like Charlie Kirk.
The decency. God, the civility, cuckoldry. Oh my God. It's such...
Yeah, disgusting. Oh my gosh, you were talking about decency, humanity. What are these things for these fascists? We don't care about these things. Oh, no, it's not about decency. Means nothing. Absolutely. Well, no, I know you believe that. It is coherent with your actions. Absolutely coherent.
So, and especially if he's a conservative, he's just weaponizing this against the left, right? Or maybe, I could be wrong, maybe he has made a video talking about how disappointed he is in the right or in Donald Trump related to some kind of terrorist attack or his...
Okay, I'll respond to that. You can look for the entire channel. So, it is a recent development that I've started talking more about modern politics. And I've never made a video about Biden, and I've never made a video about Trump. Both. I don't have like 50 videos on Biden and 0 videos on Trump, which is what seems like it's trying to imply. I don't have any video on politicians per se, ancient politicians, if you will. But when it comes to twisting history, which is what I do and have been covering for a long time, yes, I have debunked both sides. Absolutely. I can send you the list if you want. It could be my cousin that is twisting ancient Roman history. I'm going to address it. But no, you won't find a video about Trump, just like you won't find a video about Biden.
His rhetoric.
And this is what people like him are doing. They take a full group and they apply the worst rhetoric from a single bad apple onto the entire group, and then they
A single bad apple? Donald Trump is a single bad apple? What?
say they're call to actions for violence. This is the difference. This is an important aspect that needs to be underlined. Do not take bad apples and apply them to everyone. I did use bad apples plural in this case. Take the bad apples and hold them accountable. But he says, don't apologize.
This is this is the myth, right, of the radical left and the radical right, that we need to disavow the radical sides. Except the right says that the entire left is radical. But on the right, it's literally the entirety of the conservative party is MAGA.
The entirety of that's objectively false. That's objectively false. I do believe in the fact that there is a distinction between radicals and people who are simply leaning towards a position, but they're not extremists. Absolutely, that is a thing. I do have friends who are left-leaning, and they have condemned this thing, and I have no problems with them. But then there are tens of thousands of people on the left that are laughing, and I do have a problem with them, and I think they are extremists. When it comes to the right wing, you just made a statement that is objectively false. What do you mean every conservative is MAGA? Not every conservative is MAGA. That's not true. And if anything, it just proves my point of accusation. Remember this. He speaks fast. He's very theatrical. And then you forget what my original point was. So I'm going to have to reiterate it. I say that we should take the bad apples and condemn them individually. He takes the apples and projects them to the entire groups and says the entire group is bad. He just proved my point. That was my point of critique. That was my point of critique. I would like to underline, not to interrupt him too much, but I would like to underline. Did you see what he's doing? Democrats are disavowing, so the whole group are saying violence bad, but Republicans are not doing that. Did you not see the wave of Democrats and liberals that have been specifically laughing and giggling for Charlie Kirk's death? And I found some TikTokers who specifically asked, as a call to action, now go and do Charlie's children. Exactly.
You see? Now do you see what he's doing? He said Democrats and liberals, right? That's what he said. What does he see? He sees what his algorithm shows him?
But I did see it, though. He's not denying it.
And he sees what the conservatives want him to see. This.
Right. The point being?
We could find a million more at this point, right? This is not the same. Now, you can argue that maybe your leadership has no bearing on how people think, okay? But you've got all the former presidents, you've got huge mainstream media figures, you've got huge political figures, governors, like so many people unequivocally disavow violence. But
right, yes, of course. But that doesn't, I did say that there are some people on the left that are absolutely, this is gaslighting of the highest degree. How can you even have a conversation with a person like this? I did say that no one is saying that all Democrats, I literally said it, that was my point. I didn't say all lefties are laughing. And yes, there are some people that did say violence is wrong. But there are tens of thousands of liberals that are laughing about it and calling for more violence. The presence of these does not delete the epidemic of depravity, debauchery that we have witnessed, unprecedented. And once again, don't bring up Pelosi. Not the same level. And he survived, but not the same level. It doesn't delete it. It doesn't erase it. It doesn't make it okay for the tens of thousands of people on TikTok, YouTube, social media, Instagram, Facebook, whatever you want. I had to stop being friends with people that have been friends for years because they laugh, because they say, yes, get the others, get the wife, get the children. You cannot gaslight us out of that. You can show, how many did he show? How many did he show? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What is it? 20 people? Great. I saw there are thousands.
We'll call for peace as soon as Donald Trump does. That's what I want to see from everybody. So at least it can't be ignored as much. And then you fight on that point. Because it should be.
And that would have been a strong position to have had you not gone nuts with tens of thousands of people. Had you not, that which ties back to my position of, if you want the moral ground, you have to be moral.
It shouldn't even be a fight. It should be the conservatives should go, oh, wow, well, that's really unhinged. Of course, Donald Trump will disavow all violence, right? And then Trump does it, and then everybody else does it. We're cool. Okay, that's good. That's not even like good, like optically. It's not even good, like politically. That's just like healthy for the country. Retards like this will just be fleshlights for their corrosive ideology.
Oh, yeah, I know. I'm so corrosive when I ask for be decent and be human. You know what? That's it. No. I'm the one corrosive, the one that I have the corrosive ideology, guys, because remember, I'm not a human. He's correct with that, by the way. I'm not a human. Metatron is definitely not a human. So I'm the one with the corrosive ideology, is what he says, because I call for decency, humanity, not laughing at a father who's dead, thinking about his family. But I'm the one with the corrosive ideology. The reality is, because I'm the one who tells this is a political manipulator. I tell it how it is. The reality is,
You see the aesthetic? It's so annoying. That's why I say, like, when I say things about myself, they're always like red flags, because that's what I would say, right? Oh, these people are manipulative, but I'm trying to show you factually as much as possible. And then he says the same thing. I'm showing you how it is. After I skip 3 minutes of his video explaining the foundation that he's even building his argument on, I show you how it is. After bringing up 0 examples to justify anything I'm talking about, I'm literally just giving you my vibe space. I tell you how it is. And how it is what the algorithm feeds me on Twitter for me to repeat back to you in these retarded YouTube videos. Thank you, truth sayer. Thank you, truth teller. Thank you so much. So brave.
thank you for watching.
Thank you, truth sayer.
A principle of restraint means that release at the earliest opportunity will be favored over detention.
Sean Fraser, the Attorney General of Canada, his arrogance has caught up with him. Welcome back to Moose on Loose. My name's David.